Hello everyone, welcome back to Premier League Dad. We are live for a huge El Clásico. Barcelona against Real Madrid in La Liga. Barca need only a point to secure the La Liga crown against their old rivals. Real Madrid need to get a win just to kind of delay the inevitable. Anything other than a win for Real Madrid tonight and Barca lift the league title. It's not quite. It's going to be. I think it's going to be a feisty and fiery one. This one, I would fully expect to see Reds. I don't think Real Madrid will take too kindly to Barcelona lifting the league title against them, and there might be some. We know there's bad blood. We know from when these two played each other in the Super Copa in Saudi Arabia earlier this year, which we watched on here. When Barcelona won that one, Real Madrid didn't want to. They didn't want to celebrate. They didn't want to give the guard of honour. They were a bit. There was a bit of bitterness and there was a bit of sort of fighting and scrapping going on then. So it'll be the same thing tonight. Barcelona will quite rightly celebrate it. Real Madrid will fume, will rage, and will kick off. But I'm sure after all of the scandal that Real Madrid have been embroiled in over the last week themselves, listen, Tchouaméni, Valverde, scrapping behind the scenes, Valverde going to hospital and being sent home with a traumatic brain injury is what it was called by Real Madrid. Traumatic brain injury. So he's out for a couple of weeks. Tchouaméni starts tonight. He's in the team. So Tchouaméni and Valverde scrapping. Kylian Mbappe, apparently it's up to 50... Is it 50 million people now have signed a petition? 50 million people. Real Madrid claim they've got 300 million fans worldwide, but 50 million people have apparently signed a petition to say, get rid of Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe's got 41 goals for Real Madrid this season. Flying, having a great season individually. But it's quite clear, maybe, that the Real Madrid fans haven't taken to him quite as much as he would have hoped so. Right. How are we all doing, everyone in the chats? How are we doing? Razine, good to see you. Jellyfish, how's it going? Finners Matty, Julius, Lancashire Evertonian, Sarah. Who else have we got in the chat tonight? Northville, great to see you, mate. Sean, how's it going? Timmy says when Arsenal have a contentious decision, go their way, it's a robbery. When City get one, it's not, it's just the nature of the game. I think the thing is, Arsenal have had a contentious decision go for them, go in their favour in most games this season, haven't they? And there was certainly one there. City of Northville says, let's inject some Mourinho and get the madhouse going. Yeah, let's get Mourinho involved in this. Again, it was always good fun when he was there. Razine says, yo, Kate, all we need is a draw. Mate, what's your predictions? I'm saying 3-1. I've gone both teams to score as well tonight. Both teams to score. Lots of cards. Get on it. Get on it. Cheating, Arsenal, says Julius. Varsnal, says Krista Jude. Listen, we can talk about Arsenal all night. I want to try and stay as much on the topic at hand as we can. But let's be honest, Arsenal, let's call it for what it is. If they were going to give the penalty, if they were going to rule the goal out, then why weren't they looking at the penalty decisions? Trossard is literally, he's not even looking at the ball. Trossard is literally dragging Pablo down. He's not even looking at the ball. He's got his back to the ball. He's dragging him down. Rice is like this. Mavropanos is running towards the ball for the header. Rice has got both arms round his waist, dragging him down. If it's not a goal, then check those for penalties. It should have been a pen. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. They've got away with murder yet again. And, listen, good luck to him. Good luck to him. I don't think anyone will whinge this season and say, oh, Arsenal, the referees, eh? They shouldn't have got through against Atletico in midweek. They got a massive decision in their favour against Atletico. That one should have been chalked off. And now that one. Just craziness. But hey, listen, good luck to him. Good luck to him. I don't think they're going to be brilliant champions, but they'll be champions, no doubt. Vel says, if this happened to City, you wouldn't be complaining. The thing is, it hasn't happened to City, and when City have got fortunate, I've called it out. Last night, in the Brentford game, I said Bernardo Silva should have got sent off. You say it like I'm this dead biased, I've got this total... It's not, everyone can see That West Ham have just been ripped off there, right? Yesterday, I said City. City should have had Bernardo Silva sent off. They absolutely should. Absolutely should. Vagabundo, you love City. Yeah, no, I don't love City. I really don't love City, but I prefer them to Arsenal. I'll say that. At least in terms of playing style. Actually, as a club, I've no problem with either. But as in terms of play style, in terms of if I have to sit there and watch 90 minutes of football, City or Arsenal, it isn't Arsenal. In the nicest possible way, I think everyone can say that. Everyone can say that. Tristan says, I'm a City fan, but it's a foul. The West Ham player pulled Raya. Okay, fine. Are we not checking the Trossard foul? Are we not checking the Rice pulling Mavropanos down, not even looking at the ball? Not checking any of them? I just feel like, I think if you're gonna say we have a threshold of clear and obvious, they are the rules in the game, aren't they? Clear and obvious. That's what we talk about. A clear and obvious decision. If you're gonna send the ref to the monitor and he's got to look at 95 replays from 646 different angles, slowed down, sped up, watch back again in real time. If you're going to watch all that type of stuff and you're going to look deliberately for a decision, you're going to find one. You're going to find one. You're going to find one. Welshwing, I know you'll shut me down for this, key, but whether you like the decision or not, the law is you can't hold the goalie's arm down. They showed the law ruling on Sky earlier. Okay. But that's not been consistently applied all season. Certainly not for Arsenal, has it? Certainly not for Arsenal. Whenever Arsenal have had a decision like that, it's been given no problem. No problem. Absolutely no problem. So, one, it's not applied consistently, but I think you'd also agree, mate, that if the shoe was on the other foot and you had a player hold it literally round the waist, not even trying to play the ball, fully round the waist and dragging Mavropanos down, he goes down. If you're going to rule the goal out, it's a penalty. It's a penalty. Welshwing Sarah says, Welshwing, your defenders have been holding the goalie loads. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, I think the thing is, when you look at that whole incident, there's about 12 different holding incidents going on. There's loads of holding incidents going on in that penalty area, and it defies belief. Defies belief that you would give it for that. Connor says, we've never held a goalkeeper's arm or arm to the neck before. Yes, you have. Manchester United, day one of the season. Day one of the season. William Saliba is like that. He's literally across the face of Bayindia. Goal given. It's exactly the same. Gabriel jumping like that with his arm in the face of Emiliano Martinez against Aston Villa. Goal given. Nothing wrong with them two. Nothing wrong with them two. Sarah says, what about Bernardo Silva dragging down the Everton player in the box last week? I said that. I said at the time that was a pen. You're saying it like I disagree with you, mate. I said that was a pen. That should have been a penalty to Everton. Yeah, I called it. And I said last night, Bernardo Silva should have been sent off. You're making out like it's an anti-Arsenal agenda. It's not. It's just the wrong decision being applied. It's the wrong decision. Finners Matty, what games have you got next week, Key? Games next week, we have Tottenham Leeds tomorrow. We're doing Southampton Middlesbrough Tuesday night in the playoff semi-final second leg. See who makes it to the playoff finals. Man City Crystal Palace Wednesday. Bradford Bolton League One playoff on the 14th. Then Nottingham Forest and Chelsea on Thursday. Is that right? No, that's not right. That's not right. Notts County Chesterfield, sorry. Notts County Chesterfield on Thursday in the League Two playoffs. And then Chelsea v Man City Saturday with the playoff final, FA Cup final, sorry. Oh, and Hearts. Hearts as well against Celtic. Right. Okay, let's get the game underway because we're very nearly off here at Camp Nou. Dave Long, I'm an Arsenal fan all my life. Unfortunately, I like you. Why? I like you a lot, Dave. I like you. We like each other. It's all good, mate. It's all good. We like each other. What do we think here, folks? What do we think? Jamie says, so if both teams are having decisions in their favour, why cry about Arsenal? I'm not crying about Arsenal. I'm just pointing out very clearly that this was a mistake. It was a mistake in a very, very big game that matters to both teams. And I said it against City and Everton. And I said it yesterday with City and Brentford. And I'm saying it now with Arsenal and West Ham. It's the wrong decision. Chris Aki, you say there's no anti-Arsenal agenda, but you cheer for a goal against them like it's Liverpool who scored it. The game had no effect on Pool's position in the league, so why are you cheering for it? Because, well, I'm cheering for what, I guess? What are you talking about? The West Ham goal. Because I don't want Arsenal to win the league. I've been very clear about that all season. I don't want Arsenal to win the league. Don't want Arsenal to win the Champions League. I don't want that to be the standard for what we talk about in terms of the best team in the league. But I guess in a league like this, a league season like we've had, it's been dreadful to watch, hasn't it? In a properly dire league season, where set pieces have been the order of the day, where set pieces have thrived. Probably is that type of season where Arsenal deserve to win the league, isn't it? Let's be honest. Okie dokie. Right. Freddie still tuned into every game. I absolutely did. Yes, I absolutely did. I always do. Love watching football, Freddie. No matter who's playing. Even if it's someone as boring and as dull as Arsenal. Yeah, we still tune in. We still watch. We love it. We love it. Welshwing, think it was over the top when you said about corruption. Every time has bad decisions, plus lots of pressure on the ref. I know it might have been heat of the moment. I think you maybe need to listen back to what I said. I said I don't think it's corruption. I did say that. I said, but when you see decisions like that, you do start to think it's questionable. I did say that I don't think it's corruption. Okay, here we go. We're off and underway at the Camp Nou. The lineups are on this side. Your lineups are on this side over here. Garcia in goal. Garcia at the back. Kabasi, Martin and Cancelo complete the defence for Barca. Gavi and Pedri with Olmo in midfield. And then it's a front three of Firmin, Torres and Rashford. For Real Madrid, it's Courtois in goal. Garcia, Rudiger, Asensio and Trent. Camavinga, Tchouaméni and Bellingham midfield, and then it's Diaz, Vinicius and Garcia as a front three. So there you go. Should be a really, really good game, this one. Or at least I'm expecting a good game. Maybe it won't be. And a big, by the way, I do just want to say as well, like, just a really, really awful day for Hansi Flick, and I'm surprised that he's on the touchline tonight. His dad passed away earlier today, and you know, he's now having to be professional on the touchline. It's going to be a hell of a moment for him when Barcelona win the league. Maybe it's tonight, who knows? I hope it is, but I just sad. His dad passed away, and he's on the touchline tonight. What are we saying? Sorry, Timmy says, to be honest, very close game, but damn, that aged me. Can Palace do Arsenal a favour? Brendan says, Key, come on, it wasn't a mistake. Ryan had someone with arms across him and another player pulling his shirt. How is it not a foul? It's not a foul because there was a number of fouls going on in the box. So if you're going to give that one, that's amongst the tamest decisions we've seen this season. I think you're applying the law selectively. That has happened in the box with Arsenal every game this season, and they choose to apply it in this one. So it's the inconsistency that's frustrating. If you're going to say, well, then that's a foul, well, then let's really apply it, because Rice is literally... Trossard's not even looking at the ball, he's dragging down Pablo. Rice has got both arms round the stomach of Mavropanos, not even trying to play the ball. So if we're giving the foul for that, then it's a penalty. For either of them, whichever one you want. Whichever one you want. Evening 3-star. Blankface says, as Arsenal fans, we should be gassed with the result, but let's be honest, it was soft. Secondly, Trossard, Rice and Mosquera all fouled West Ham players, very much so. Welshwing says, here that key, Sarah doesn't like me filling your bank account. Hey, Welsh, you know I appreciate it, mate. I really do. It's very, very welcome, but certainly not necessary. I really appreciate you being in every day and helping with the quizzes and just a generally lovely guy. Even for an Arsenal fan. Connor says, what I will say, this is what football is, drama and entertainment. Carl says, I don't agree with you much, but that is 100% true, mate. It is, exactly. 100% true. Stephen says, if the keeper catches the ball, all the other hustle and bustle doesn't matter. Yeah, it does, because even if the keeper catches the ball, you've still got Rice dragging the player down. Barca are in. Big chance, far post. Oh, great defending from Madrid. So close to 1-0 in this one. Connor says all them incidents happened after the Raya incident. No, they didn't. The ball hadn't even touched David Raya's hands, and Rice is like that round him. They didn't happen before. They happened simultaneously. Brendan says, yeah, but Key, they're always giving on a keeper. Everyone knows that, but that's patently not true. I've given you two very, very clear decisions just involving Arsenal earlier this season. Manchester United, day one of the season, Saliba's got his arms in front of Bayindir's face. Arsenal goal given, no problem. Then Arsenal against Aston Villa, Emiliano Martinez. Gabriel, hand in his face, arm in his face. Emiliano Martinez got a full-on elbow in his face. Goal given, no problem. So you're wrong. It does matter. It does matter. The goal wasn't. It's not inconsistently applied when goalkeepers are impeded, let's say. It's only today where it's been ruled out. Daniel says, was never a pen. I remember Saliba doing the worst the first game of the season. The fans said keepers need to be stronger. So when it's them, it's not allowed. I'm telling you, keepers have been getting pushed and shoved by Arsenal all season. Oh, what a run this is. Big chance. Barca, great tackle. Excellent defending. I think that's going to be a corner, is it? Does he have a corner? Rashford? No. Wow. PDM says, Key, can you see your DMs on YouTube? I don't think I've got DMs on YouTube, have I? If I have, I'm about to discover something. I don't even think I've got DMs on YouTube. I've got DMs on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok, and I think I've got places like that. Sometimes stuff comes through, but no, I haven't got anything on YouTube. It's not as far as I'm aware, anyway. Finners, he still could have caught it, though. He got two hands. It's like holding hands with someone you want to punch someone else. You got the other hand to do it. Like I said, at the end of the day, right, here's the reality of it, right? The reality is Arsenal won the game, right? They've won the game. They're going to win the league. Bottom line, they won the game, right? By hook or by crook, they won the game. They're going to win the league. All I'm saying is they have been very, very lucky boys. Very lucky boys. Incredibly lucky. More lucky than any other team this season. Far more. It's not like swings and roundabouts. Oh, well, it evens itself out. No, that's bollocks. That's absolute bollocks. Arsenal have been lucky. Very, very lucky. Brendan says, it is consistently given. How many fouls on keepers have been given this season? You can't pick out a few handful of instances from hundreds of games and use that as an argument. Well, you can when it directly affects the title race. Of course you can. There's been key goals given. That Arsenal have benefited from 6 points from 2 exact decisions like that. How can you say that? This is my point. There's been 3 decisions, right? Just those three. 2 there where the goal was given. 1 against United, start of the season. 1 against Aston Villa. Arsenal won both those games. That's 6 points. They were the decisive goals in both games. 6 points. And tonight, 9 points. 9 points with the rule wasn't applied consistently. Rashford! Oh my God, what a goal that is! Rashford 1-0. An absolute screamer from Rashford. Barca 1, Real Madrid 0. Free kick, top corner from Rashford. An absolute worldie. Wow, what a goal. Rashford confirming his space in that England World Cup squad. That is an absolute... That just smacked it top corner. And Barca are in front. The limbs in the home end. Go on, Rashi. Go on, Rashi. And I still don't think they're going to sign him permanently. What a goal that is. Keeper, no chance. Courtois, full stretch. Still couldn't get to it. It's that side of the goal as well. It's a little bit like Dimitri Payet's goal. The free kick he scored for West Ham. Do you remember that one where he kind of bends it up and over? The same side the goalkeeper's on. It's a sensational free kick from Rashford, that. Didn't think he had that type of goal in his locker. Wow. Real Madrid are not giving this up. Daniel says, I'm sure there was a time when Raya came running out and pure wiped out a Chelsea player with a punch to the face and nothing was given. He's got away with a bit this season, hasn't he? Yeah, he's definitely got a bit this season. PDM, okay. Maybe not. Won't let me send you it. You might have to send it on Insta, maybe. Maybe Insta. Giga Chad can't handle criticism. Hey? What criticism? Yeah, I can handle criticism. Why? Throw whatever criticism you've got my way, mate. I'll happily take it. Whatever criticism you've got. I mean, try and be generally polite and constructive, like a normal functioning human being. But if you don't want to be, or you haven't got that capacity, then be whatever you can be. Do your best. West Ham robbed, says Egbert. Matty, who do you want to win this match? I generally don't really have any issue with either Barca or Real Madrid. I'm not like, I don't love either club, to be honest. They're both very, very good teams. I guess I'd want Barca to win it just so it's history, isn't it? We've never really seen, in nearly 100 years, Barca have never won the title in the Clásico. So we're about to witness history tonight. This is a big, big game. If Barca win, they're 1-0 up. Real Madrid corner. Oh, Trent. It's going to go out on the other side, and it might be another corner. It is another corner. Well done, Trent. Real Madrid are pushing back to get the equaliser. 11 minutes in here. Both teams going for it. So, yeah, I don't really support either team. My team in Spain is either Malaga, which is the kit just behind me here, or I like Betis. Betis is probably my other team. Brendan, this is one instance where VAR was used correctly. I have to disagree, mate. I think if you've got a standard of clear and obvious, then it should be a very, very clear. Send him to the monitor. Doesn't need more than a quick glance. Couple of minutes. Couple of looks. Instead, we were treated to a long, multiple slow-mo check. They were looking for a foul there. And once Kavanagh's sent to the monitor, I hated to see that. It was so poor. So poor. Tom says, hi, Key, hope you're well. Do you think that's title done now, Arsenal, or do you think Arsenal drop points? I don't think Arsenal might drop points. They might drop points, but I don't see it. No, I think the title's over. And to be honest, I said before, even today, I still think they'd win it. Whatever happens, I still think they'd win it. Al-Shamari says, PGMOL are not fit for purpose, man. Absolute bullshit denying that Wilson goal, because if the foot were on the other foot, there's no way they'd disallow it. Referee was shown 18 different angles. Steve, did you watch the Arsenal game, pal? I did, mate. Yeah, I was watching it. And I'm now watching Barca, Real Madrid. Oh, what a ball that is. What a ball. Oh, Courtois came out and just about got to it. Brendan, I honestly don't think it could have been any more clear. I'd agree that it took them way too long. I just feel like I'd like to see some sort of imposition where at the end of the day you've got a certain look. Maybe you've got 30 seconds and it's like once you're up the monitor, the timer starts, and if you've not made a decision in 30 seconds, original decision stands. It just didn't make any sense to me, and I feel like the law was applied really, really unfairly today. Really, really unfairly. Jack says, Palace might just take Eze's 10 million by letting them win the league if it comes to the final game. Nah, I don't think so. Oliver Glasner's not that way inclined. It's his farewell, isn't it? It's his home farewell. Daddy-o, and that's why you're on YouTube and not a ref. Maybe. But to be fair, referees are trained refs and they make decisions that you don't agree with all the time, do they? I think they looked at a couple of things at the monitor. No, they didn't. They definitely didn't check the Rice thing. Because if they did, then they would have given a penalty. And if they did check the Rice thing and didn't give a penalty, then that's even worse. It's even worse. Because Rice was a nailed-on penalty. Trossard wasn't even looking at the ball. Rice was holding the man and dragging him down in exactly the same way that Bernardo Silva was against Everton the other day. If you're going to rule the goal out for something as soft as what happened with David Raya, then I'm sorry, it's a minimum, it's a penalty. Absolutely shocking. Or you just let the game go. You just let it go. Connor says, does anyone want Zubamendi off us for free? He's absolutely useless. Real Madrid down the left-hand side. Barca, get the ball back. It's fantastic football. I've got to say, in the opening 15 minutes, we've been treated to a fantastic goal. And both teams really, really going for it. Real Madrid not giving this up. They know they need to win. Oh, that's dreadful, though. And it is Rashford in the area. Good defending, Camavinga. Excellent play. Key should sing that in the next Arsenal watch-along. Neo says, did you not see Raya's shirt being tugged before Rice had hold of anyone? It wasn't before. It was simultaneously. Stop the frame. You'll see it. Before the ball even touches. Before David Raya's hands are even in play. Rice has hold of him. Palace have Conference League final 3 days later as well. They do, but they also have the farewell to club legend Oliver Glasner. And if you think that they're just gonna say, oh well, let's just leave it then, that'll be fine. Let's just let Arsenal win. No, don't think that's gonna be the. That's going to be the way. Hiller says Arsenal have gotten away with it all season. Very true. Very, very true. DJ Mr. B, it's all about money. It's all about money. Andy says it all comes down to referees and VAR only making the right decision when it suits them. I just think the laws were applied a little bit unfairly today. Very, very unfairly. But there you go. There you go. Barca, 2-0. It's there. What an unbelievable goal again. It's 2. It's an absolute screamer again. Sensational stuff, that. Fabulous. Ferran Torres, 2-0 Barca. 2-0. And Álvaro Arbeloa. Real Madrid are getting cut apart here. Getting absolutely cut apart. Ferran Torres follows it in. Who was the person who got the flick on here? Who got the assist? The camera panning on all the Real Madrid faces here. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Bellingham just look totally lost on the pitch. There's going to be some big changes at Madrid this summer, no doubt, and that is incredible. Fabulous play. Wonderful play. Dani Olmo with the flick on. Ferran Torres runs in, smashes it top corner. No chance for Courtois. What a goal. 2 great goals. And Barca flying. Flying. We want a scrap, says Connor. It's coming. I'm telling you, there's going to be a scrap. The way this is going, there's going to be a scrap. There's going to be cards. Real Madrid, if they're not going to win the league, or they're not going to delay the league, rather, they are going to start kicking everything above grass. And I'm telling you, you watch. You watch. Ethan, come on, mate. You can't spam. Please don't spam, Ethan. Daddy-O says, oh, football and stuff. How's it going, mate? Good to see you. Pete says Burnley under Michael Jackson could make this title race a thriller. Well, hey, they did well earlier today against Villa. Burnley played really well. They're certainly not there for the taking. Carl says people wonder why Arsenal fans aren't liked. Just look on here. Oh, I quite like him. I quite enjoy it. Shell says, how's Trent playing, Key? I think he's playing for a move back to Liverpool, to be honest, Shell. I think Trent's desperate for a move back to Liverpool. Absolutely dying to come back to Liverpool. Creed says 2-0. Hope everyone's had a good weekend. Yeah, all good, mate. How's yours? Mark, what are Madrid getting up to? Or what are Madrid up to? Getting battered. Pretty much, yeah. 2-0 down, 20 minutes in. They've not really laid a glove on Barcelona, and they need to win. Anything other than a win, and Barca lift the title tonight in the Clásico. Wow. Cleared out at Madrid incoming. Yeah, this sort of a season at Real Madrid, very rarely, lots of players very rarely survive this type of season where they get humiliated by Barcelona and lose the Clásico. This is the kind of... You're going to see a summer where Real Madrid move a lot of players on. And I think Camavinga's one of them. Tchouaméni might be another. Obviously, there's going to be a new manager in there. We don't know who that's going to be yet. Looks like it's going to be Mourinho, but probably there's going to be even more change. Javier Meza, howdy Key, and happy Mother's Day to all the mummies. Yeah, Mother's Day in the US and Canada, isn't it? Is it North American Mother's Day today, basically? Egyptonicus, I was in a caravan park in the very northeast of Wales, directly next to Liverpool. Nice. Real Madrid are in, chance! Oh, should be 2-1. Oh, Gonzalo's got to put that away. Massive chance for Madrid. Really, really should make it 2-1. Wow. Daniel H, how are you watching the game? Just on telly here, mate. Yeah, just on telly. Yeah, it's American Mother's Day. Imagine Rashford's going to get a La Liga medal before Trent. Honestly, it's astonishing, isn't it? It is astonishing that Trent Alexander-Arnold is he's not going to make a 35 match squad for England. Think how good Trent Alexander-Arnold isn't even going to get in that sort of a squad. Oh, Real Madrid are in again. Should be 2-1 this one if you can get the pass right. Should be. Oh, great defending again. Fabulous defending again. Pete says he left us to win more trophies. How's that working out? The grass ain't always greener. That's it. Rumours linking Tchouaméni to United. He'll go in and start knocking 7 bells out of the players. North End Views, we can do a combined 11. Barcelona, and that's it. Shell, I was until Palace equaliser. Yeah, do you know what, Shell? You played so well today. Everton were the better side against Palace, I thought. Corner kick to Real Madrid. Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold to take. Cleared away. Garcia comes out and Barca just about squeeze it away. Yeah, United linked with Tchouaméni. I do wonder whether that's the type of player United will be able to attract, though, in the summer. Because he's going to be on big, big wages. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's the type of player United will get. Maybe they're a bit more inclined to go for a Baleba, someone like that. Can't see him getting a Tchouaméni. All Trent is good at is passing, otherwise he's useless. That's harsh. I don't agree with that. I think he's a very good player. Will says, Key, I'm watching the AC Milan Atalanta game. Oh, lovely. 1-0 down, aren't they, AC Milan? I think, anyway. No, 2-0. 2-0 down. Seb, what do you think of the Liverpool draw with Chelsea? I don't know. I don't know what do I think of it? What do I think of it? What sort of question's that? What do I think of it? It's a draw. It's a result that took place this weekend. Yeah. Not a great result, but, you know, it's some of them. One of them. Sarah says, come on, Kate. He doesn't track back and is slow as a snail. I think we miss him this season, though, Sarah. We definitely miss him. Barca driving forward again. Football and Stuff says, I think Dean Henderson's the best keeper in the Prem, which means a lot coming from a Brighton fan. Dean Henderson's the best keeper in the Prem. He's not a bad keeper, but I won't go as far as the best keeper in the Prem. KJP described the Rashford free kick. Very similar to the one that... Do you remember when Payet scored for the free kick against West Ham, where he kind of like... He curls it the keeper's side, where the keeper stood. Curls it top corner, where the keeper stood. Courtois, no chance. Absolute screamer from Rashford. Wonder free kick. And then Ferran Torres has just made it 2-0. Barca still pushing for a third here. And it is going to start to get feisty. It's definitely going to start to get feisty. Real Madrid are going to start kicking everything above grass. Jack, do you think it was a foul? Yes. Yes, I do think it was a foul. Ant, will you be covering the trophy lift? I will absolutely be covering the trophy lift. Vagabondo, you have more thoughts about Arsenal than Liverpool. You caught me. Sarah says, yes, we've had loads of injuries at right back. I know, but even if we've got... If you could have Conor Bradley or Trent Alexander-Arnold, you're still picking Trent, aren't you? I'd rather have Trent. And yeah, and Salah's definitely missed him. I mean, it's not just Salah, everyone. The full team. We've not had anyone to break the lines. That's our problem. Oh, well, 2-0, 28 minutes on the clock. Barca are still pushing, but... Oh, Courtois got caught there on the ball. Barca win it back. They're trying to wipe the floor with Madrid here. They're not switching off at all. There's going to be Olays going round the Camp Nou. Connor, honestly, I could see Trent and Wirtz link-up play really good. Vagabundo, I'm worried if you'll be able to sleep good tonight. Oh, I always sleep good, mate. I'm all good. I sleep very, very well. I've got a very clear conscience. Yeah, I can all. But it's very nice of you to say that. I sleep good. I sleep very good. Believe me, if I've seen United win titles and I've seen Chelsea win European Cups, I can live with Arsenal winning the league. I've seen Arsenal win many leagues as well. But yeah, if you think that's going to cause any loss of sleep, then no. No, I'll just go on living my life, mate. It's all good. I've seen far worse. I think 95% of Prem CAMs are better than Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer's not a centre mid, though, is he? City of Northville, how can Arsenal sleep well after what they've done to poor West Ham? I mean, that's not the reason West Ham are going down. West Ham have been dreadful all season. They'll go down in spite of that decision today. Not necessarily because of it, but definitely in spite of it. And they are definitely hard done by. We'll say that. So it depends. Bradley's a better defender. Trent better with the crosses and passes. Fair enough. Fair enough. Pete, Trent or Frimpong, let me think. Do they want to swap? Yeah. Definitely swap them Frimpong. .30 on the clock. And Real Madrid exactly where they didn't want to be. 2-0 down at the Camp Nou. Got it all to do. 3 goals required. Anything less. And it's going to be a humiliating night. Humiliating night. City of Northville, that's true. After watching Arsenal all season, I imagine sleep is like an old friend. Kind of is, yeah. Yeah, you don't need Nightall. If you've watched Arsenal, you do not need, especially if you have it on in the background or something like that. You definitely don't need Nightall. Sleep like a baby. Alu says we can give you Madwecki for Soberslai. He'll have a good link-up play with Curtis Jones. You know what the crazy thing is? Honestly, I'm not even kidding. Madwecki's, it's not about who's better, because obviously Soberslai is the better player. But in terms of what we need more, we need a Madwecki more than we need a Soberslai. Genuinely. Soberslai's a wonderful player, but you could put Curtis Jones in Soberslai's position and he would still do okay. We need a Madwecki. We need pace out wide. We're desperate for pace. We have no pace out wide. That's why Liverpool haven't been where we are. We're competing with teams. We're so slow. Got no pace in the middle of the park and no pace out wide. We're desperate for any width. I'd take Adama Traore at this point. We desperately need some pace, though. Mr. Al-Shamari says, VAR has ruined my mood for the Clásico. I still keep thinking about it. I'm absolutely gutted, man. Don't be gutted. It is one of them things. It just happens. It happens. Daddy-O says, you joking, my heart rate and blood pressure's a risk watching Arsenal this year. It ain't boring to me, I'd say it's stressful. Yeah, it's stressful because you're worried about bottling it, that's why. Because you haven't really got faith in your team. If you're being dead honest, you've been bruised, you've been damaged too much by Arsenal in recent years under Arteta. That there's always that chance, you're always just worried. Vagabundo, Mbappe's not even playing. He's not. No, he's not. Shahid says watching Arsenal's good for curing insomnia. Luke says you can watch the replay in bed tonight, Key. Cheers, man. I will do. Yeah. Why not? Why not? Why not? Ball out to the left-hand side for Madrid. Barca. Come on. That's not a free kick. It's not a free kick. What's up with referees these days? I feel like referees are just gradually getting worse and worse and worse. They're not even trying anymore. Just to spice it up. Yeah, just spice it up. Just give some rogue decisions. I'm telling you, that I am all up for some sort of referee reform. Let's get some players in as ex-referees. Let's do something radical. Let's do something radical and get referees ejected from the game, and let's get ex-players reffing. Because I'll tell you what, Roy Keane was very clear about it, wasn't he, after the game? He said it's an absolute disgrace, that VAR decision against West Ham today. And I think he'd have said much the same for that decision there. Shell, if there are any United fans in, how did Sunderland play yesterday? Well, I'm not a United fan, but I can tell you that Sunderland played really, really well. And United were crying over Bruno Fernandes. Apparently should have been a sending off. He never touched him. He never touched him. Real Madrid down the left-hand side. Big chance, far post. Good header. Cleared away. Cleared away. Prince Rupert surprised Tchouameni's playing, actually. I thought he was surprised. He was suspended, sorry. Yeah, I thought he was suspended. Referee post-match interviews. Well, that'd be nice as well. Yeah, something to just keep the refs accountable. Why did you give that decision? Do you know what would be wonderful? It would be wonderful if we had some sort of a referee scorecard whereby you can literally, it'd be fascinating to put, because I think Kavanagh, I'm almost certain, wasn't Kavanagh the referee for Arsenal against Man United at the start of the season? Wasn't he the ref in that game? Oh, I think I might need to check that. I think, yeah, he was. I'm sure Kavanagh was the referee in that one. He might have been even in the Villa game, to be honest, the Aston Villa Arsenal game where Gabriel scores. But I'd love to have him sat down in front of a monitor and say, "Yo, Chris, can you just explain to me why this one was, but these two weren't? Can you just explain to me, because they appear." To the untrained eye, obviously we're not super qualified refs like you, but to the untrained eye, to the non-biased football fan, we're looking at it and going, these two, we don't want fouls given for them. But I think if you're giving fouls for them, then you give fouls for the other two. I think most football fans would be quite happy with a more robust style of refereeing, wouldn't they? If anything, I think most fans want to see fewer referee intervention. We want to see refs getting involved less and less. Have a bit of argy-bargy in the box. I'm fine with that. I've no problem with it. I'd rather see players dragging each other down. But if you're gonna give it and rule it out, then give it for the others. And they haven't all season. In big moments for Arsenal. Arsenal have benefited by 9 points just from that inconsistency. Football and Stuff says, Key, do you agree with no fans have it harder than the Big Six fans? I don't know what the question is there, mate. Do you agree or disagree with no fans have it hard than Big Six fans? Yeah, I don't know what you mean. Do fans have it harder than the Big Six fans? I guess all fans have it the same, to some degree. Andy says he never touched him. Bruno was caught, but it wasn't a red card. Oh, well, I'm glad we agree it wasn't a red at least. We found some common ground there, Andy. Madhouse says, Key, will you be surprised if Arteta gets manager of the season? Barca should be 3. Oh, nearly 3. Nearly 3. Yeah, no, I don't think for 1 second Arteta gets manager of the year. He shouldn't get manager of the year, should he? Because it should be about what you do relative to your resources. And I think everyone expects Arsenal to win the league. So, like, yeah, well done. 6 years, you've spent £1 billion. Spent more than everyone else. You kind of got to win it at some point. Corner to Barca. Manager of the season should be Areola. Keith Andrews for me. Keith Andrews, relative to where everyone expected him, he was 100% manager of the year. I'd be astonished if Keith Andrews isn't given manager of the year. Barca should be 3. Oh, nearly 3. Nearly 3. Jimmy, who scored, Key? It's Barca 2, Real Madrid 0. First goal was a Rashford free kick, an absolute worldie. And then the second was Ferran Torres, a really, really well-worked goal for that one as well. Daddy, oh yeah, like nobody else didn't spend money. Oh, the team spent money, but you spent double what Liverpool have over the last 6 years. I think that's an important distinction to make. You've spent more than others. Barca, oh, so close. Rashford's goal was a Beckham type of goal. A fabulous free kick. Really, really good free kick. Daddy-O says, I'd understand if we were level with teams, but the money we may have spent more than others only closed the gap. It didn't. Not across Arteta's period of time. You've spent more. You've spent more. But yeah, Keith Andrews for me. Keith Andrews for me is manager of the year, and I think if he doesn't get manager of the year, then that would be a real shame. It'd be, again, it's the same as the player of the year thing for me. Bruno Fernandes shouldn't be touching that player of the year award. Mikel Arteta shouldn't be getting anywhere near the manager of the season award, and yet it wouldn't surprise me at all if that was the case. Really hard for a right footer to score a goal like that. Pete says Simon Hooper was the ref for Arsenal Man United first game of the season. Who was the ref in the Villa game then? Was it the Villa game? Maybe it was the Villa game. Sir, Arsenal have spent almost £1 billion in 6 years, but Chelsea have spent more, but have sold loads. I mean, Chelsea are an embarrassment. They're not even in a title race, are they? Free kick for Barca. 5 to go. Connor, at least we get more money coming in for getting to the final. You do, yeah. Definitely get some money for finishing second in a final. Ferran Torres and Marcus Rashford both dedicated their goals to Hansi Flick. That's nice to see. It's one of them things that it usually happens that way, doesn't it? Whenever there's like a death in football, quite often you'll see that team kind of go out and play for that player and do really, really well for him. Ball down the left-hand side for Barca. No, back to the keeper. No, just to the centre-backs. Jimmy Flick passed away. No, his dad. His dad did. Yeah. His dad died earlier today as well. It wasn't even like a couple of days ago or a couple of weeks ago. Apparently it was earlier today. I don't know if it was like expected or what. I don't know if that makes it any different, to be honest. But ultimately, you know, your dad's passed away and you've got to manage a game, a big game, a high stakes game, maybe the biggest game or one of the biggest games of his career. Clásico, opportunity to win the league against Real Madrid. Like, that's about as big as it gets. Number one security says, what about the Bournemouth manager? Possible Europe, unbeaten in 16 games, smallest stadium in the Prem. I mean, Iraola has done a good job at Bournemouth, but you could also say Fabian Herzler at Brighton. I think both have done really, really well. Remains to be seen, I guess. But I think Bournemouth got quite close to Europe last year. Herzler got quite close with Brighton last year. Everyone expected Brentford to go down. So Keith Andrews getting Brentford in Europe, even if it's just Conference League, that'd be different class. So, yeah. Shane Shanks, who's the beautiful lady they keep showing in the crowd? I don't know. They've not announced it on Premier Sports. I've not seen her yet. Nor would I be watching anyway. Got a wife. Jimmy, what are your thoughts on 60 million plus petitions to get Mbappe out? Yeah, that just shows that there's 60 million children or sad sacks in the world. Can you imagine? Can you imagine signing a petition to get rid of a player? Can you actually imagine doing that? If I actually saw a petition pop up on my timeline, get rid of any footballer who played for Liverpool, even the ones who I've not liked. Like Alexis McAllister has been dreadful this season, right? I guarantee he's had a far worse season than Kylian Mbappe has. And yet, if there's a petition to get rid of Alexis McAllister, I am not signing it. That is one of them where it's like, come on, let's get a life. Let's get a life. Adam says, the irony, me saying this, but that ref bottled it today. How much will that ultimately cost West Ham? That was reviewed, and Villa, Chelsea was Stonewall ones, not even looked at. What's going on? Very, very true. Pete says the refs in the first Villa game was Peter Banks, second was Darren England, and who was VAR today? Darren England. Ah, well, there you go. There's the connection then, innit? There's the connection. I'd love McAllister back. Please give him back to Brighton. I generally think he comes back. Take him. You can have him. You can have him. I'll give him you now. City of Northville, I get it though. If you have a locker room cancer, no matter how good he is, if it makes it so you can't form a cohesive team, that is an albatross. Yeah, but how do they know if he's a locker room cancer, as you said? I don't think you can determine that. Fans can't determine that. I think there's maybe an element of, again, confirmation bias, a little bit like Arne Slot at Liverpool. Fans have made their mind up and therefore they're now very much looking for reasons to dislike him, I guess. Gareth Ponting. Goldbridge makes you look like piss in a polystyrene cup. You have a very poetic way with words, Gareth. I love that. Piss in a polystyrene cup. Might put that on the bio. Footballer Stuff says UK this January. I said Pascal Gross will rejoin. Engine in with no rumours about it or anything. Said I woke up and my friend says to me, can't believe it, you were right. Pascal Gross, a great player for Brighton. Yeah. Legend of the club. Sir, what channel is this on? Channel is Premier Sports. You can watch it on Disney Plus as well, I think. Someone said it was on Disney Plus as well. I'm watching it on Premier Sports, which is, Amazon Prime. Connor says, nah, Key's a proper football fan, but just different opinions. Ultimately, it's down to the game and the decisions, not Key's opinion, mate. Yeah, imagine if we all thought the same, eh? Imagine if we all thought the same. It'd be a very boring world. City of Northville, but if he is the issue in the locker room, would you not get rid of him regardless of his goal total? It's a slippery slope, innit? Because to a degree, like, how many footballers do you think, how many professional footballers do you think are absolute bellends? Because I bet it's a lot. I bet it's a lot. if you've got good eggs in the dressing room, that's often worth far more than, especially if they're the experienced players and you're picking them regularly, that's often worth far, far more than, like, if you've got, I mean, if it's Real Madrid, right, you've got 11 hotheads, very talented players, young men who have been given millions and millions of pounds and they're playing for the biggest club in the world. Their ego is going to be on Mars, right? That's a very difficult room to manage. If Kylian Mbappe is one of the best centre-forwards in the world, and he is, how big of a dick do you have to be thrown away? I mean, if they're all dicks, they're all ego monsters, then, you know, that's kind of your job as the manager, is to deal with a room full of bellends. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it is. That's what football management is. You're dealing with people who think the shit don't stink. Right. Half-time says City of Northville it is, but when you're as good as Mbappe, you have more player power than most bellends, so you can potentially cause a lot more damage. Like getting managers fired for trying to instill discipline. But then that's on the club, isn't it? That's not on the manager. That's on the club. If they want player power to rule, then it will. Daddy-O says, Key's the living embodiment of walking, talking rage bait, but gosh darn it, he's a handsome devil. I still don't quite get why you think it's rage bait, because that you're leaning into that as if that's, I don't believe what I'm actually saying. Do you believe I don't believe it? Do you believe it's insincere? Because it has to be one of the two. Let's be honest. If you don't like me, right, it has to be one of the two things. Either it's rage bait and I'm not a bellend, or it isn't rage bait and I am a bellend. Or I'm stupid. One of the two. I guess it could be three. Could be three. I could just be wrong, I guess. If you're saying I'm wrong about the rules. But if you're saying it's rage bait, that you're basically saying you don't think I believe what I'm saying. Darren says Bale, Van Dijk, Suarez and Kevin De Bruyne, just to name a few, have all won Premier League Player of the Season without winning the league. Even Ginola won it the year United won the treble. I know, I get it. I'm not saying it has to come from the league winner. But I just don't think Bruno Fernandes should be anywhere near it. Stay Gold says, hey Key, my girlfriend's upset because I'd rather watch my FC Barca than hang out with her. That's a problem. That is a problem. Connor says, Key, wipe that smirk away. I could see that smirk from a mile away. What for? Rehab says, Mbappe's just being a disobedient boy. Need a good manager to get him in that more strict. Pete says the difference between you and Goldbridge is he thinks about the crap he speaks. You're live in the moment. Oh, well, hey, there you go. Well, that's true. I go live a lot more in terms of reacting to games. Timbo says Gerrard also won it without winning the league, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but Gerrard's not Bruno Fernandes, is he? Take it easy, 3-star. I'll catch you tomorrow, mate. Right. Half-time quiz. I've paused the half-time. I haven't I? Half-time quiz. Okay. Can you tell me the top 20 Spanish players in Premier League history by number of appearances? Top 20 Spaniards by number of appearances in the Prem. Can you give me the top 20? Seeing as we're watching the Clásico, Barça Real Madrid. Top 20 Spanish players in Premier League history based on the appearances. Casper, come on, mate. Let's be a good lad. Your mum and dad didn't teach you to spam, did she? They. Him. She. They. Whatever. Mum and dad definitely didn't teach you to spam. Be polite. Come on. Be better than that, Casper. Be better. De Gea, Fabregas, Torres, Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta, yes, he is third. Who else was there? Fabregas Timbo is second. De Gea is first. Torres. Fernando Torres is 11th. Azpilicueta we've already got. Fabregas, De Gea, Torres. Iniesta, no, never played in the Prem. Rodri is 12th. Rodri's 12th. Silva. David Silva is 4th. because you make me want to rage. I agree with so little of what you say, but I like you. The amount of times you make me audibly say what, but I don't think you don't mean it's who you are. Well, there you go. Okay, so it's not rage bait then. It's not rage bait. I agree. Thank God. I thought we was gonna have a disagreement there, Daddy-O. I thought you was actually saying that it was rage bait, and I don't actually believe what I'm saying. I'm glad even you agree that it's not rage bait. Alonso, yes, Marcos Alonso is number 15. Monreal is 13. Well done. Good shout. Arteta is 6th. I'm only kidding. Before you start reacting. David Raya is 20th. Yes, just sneaks in. Bellerin is 14th. Juan Mata is 7th. Good shout. Pepe Reina is 6th. Ayoze Perez is 10th. Good answer. Adama Traore is 8th. Yes. Luca Digne is French, Darren. Mayenda, no, he's not one of the record Premier League appearance holders, no. Romeu, football and stuff. Good answer. Romeu is 9th. Cucurella. Not Cucurella, no. Not Cucurella. Did you know David Raya played for Southport? That's about his level as well, isn't it? Federico Fernandez. No, it isn't Federico Fernandez. Not Cazorla and not Thiago Alcantara. No, you've got 4 left to get. You've got David Raya. We're doing, if you've just joined us, the top 20 Spanish players with the most appearances in Premier League history. We've got David Raya, we've got Marcos Alonso, Bellerin, Monreal, Rodri, Fernando Torres, Ayoze Perez, Romeu, Adama Traore, Mata, Arteta, Pepe Reina, David Silva, and then the top 3 is Azpilicueta, Fabregas, and De Gea. 4 more left to get. Monreal we've already got. Jose Enrique is there. He's 18th. Good shout. Very good shout. Ivan Campo, 16th. Good stuff. Diego Costa, no. Not Mikel Merino. Not Michu. No, not Michu. But a player who did play for the same team as Michu. Not Herrera, no. Fernando Torres is in the list. Fernando Torres was 11th. Not Gerard Deulofeu. Not Xavi Alonso. Xavi Alonso was... No, Marcos Alonso was 15th. Not Nacho Monreal. Nacho Monreal was already in there. He was 13th. Not Pablo Hernandez. Not Adrian. No, not Arbeloa. But not a bad shout. Angel Rangel. Angel Rangel is 17th. Yes. And 1 left to get. 1 left. There you go. Robert Sanchez. Good stuff. Top 20 Premier League Spaniards. Top 20 Premier League Spaniards is David Raya, Robert Sanchez, Jose Enrique, Angel Rangel, Ivan Campo, Marcos Alonso, Hector Bellerin, Nacho Monreal, Rodri, Fernando Torres, Ayoze Perez, Oriol Romeu, Adama Traore, Mata, Arteta, Reina, Silva, David Silva that is, Azpilicueta, Fabregas and De Gea. There you go. Top 20 Premier League Spaniards. That's your half-time quiz. And we have got just a couple of minutes until the second half kicks off. That was nicely timed, wasn't it? Pablo Fornals, another Betis player in there. Madhouse, nice quiz that. Time for another. Who's the Liverpool centre-forward known as God? Who's the best player of those 20? Now, there's a question. Yeah, who's the best player of those 20? I think you'd struggle to say David Silva, for me, would be the one I'm immediately going to. De Gea is probably the best goalkeeper out of De Gea, Sanchez and Raya. De Gea is the best goalkeeper. After that, Fabregas was a good player. Azpilicueta, you could probably make a full 11 with them, couldn't you? You could genuinely make a full 11. You've got De Gea. You could have Azpilicueta, Ivan Campo, Monreal kind of played as a centre-back, I guess. And maybe Hector Bellerin. Midfield, you could have David Silva, Juan Mata, Romeu, and Rodri. And then in attack, you could have Fernando Torres. You could even maybe put Arteta. Maybe you put Arteta in midfield instead of Romeu. And you could have Fernando Torres and Ayoze Perez. But yeah, Fabregas and David Silva, can't split them really. Mata is my favourite, but his Chelsea career was cut short and he wasn't the same at United. I do think that David Silva was a fabulous player, but yeah, Juan Mata is very underrated. Even as a United player, like I really, I was gutted when United signed him because I thought he was excellent at United as well. Gib22, hi mate, what do you think of the Seagulls? How well are we playing? Fantastic, that manager, you have to hang on to that manager with everything you've got because Fabian Herzler, I think, is going to be targeted, isn't he? There's a lot of teams looking for a manager this summer. Fabian Herzler's going to be one on the wish list, let's call it. Pete says you can make a World Cup squad with that lot in their prime. Easy. Mata's first touch was a thing of beauty. Daddy-O says, I do think you could make a killing by doing call-ins via Discord. Charge people to ask you why you hate Arsenal. I know, but it'd be a bit boring, wouldn't it, after a while? Do you not think? It'd be a bit boring after, I mean, again, you know, swings and roundabouts, but if you're phoning in, I do want to do a phone-in. I really do want to do a phone-in, because I quite like talking to people, even if it's people phoning in, and they'll phone in, and they'll go, why do you hate Arsenal or whatever, and they'll say, I don't know, they'll say, Penguin, you hate Arsenal, and then they'll hang up, or whatever. I don't mind, I'll talk to whoever, me, I'm fine with it, but I just wonder how entertaining that could be for everyone else watching. So maybe there has to be a way to, I guess, filter out the trolls. Timbo, I'm so depressed after that Arsenal win key. It was 100% a foul on Raya, by the way. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. And if it was a foul, then why are they not giving the penalty on the other guys? Let's be clear. Let's be really, really clear about that. Fabian or Areola to Chelsea? Possibly, yeah. Fabian Herzler or Areola both could go to Chelsea. I'm not sure they will, though. Again, I think Chelsea's framework of wanting a coach probably leans into them getting someone a bit more junior. And I know there's not many more coaches junior than Fabian Herzler, because I think he's still the youngest manager in the Football League, isn't he? So I'm not sure that Fabian Herzler would want to go to Chelsea. I think he'd want a bit more control. And the same with Areola. I'd be surprised if Chelsea can if Chelsea can secure one of those two. I think they're exceptional hires. But something tells me Chelsea will be more inclined to go for maybe a more junior appointment. The way that they went for Enzo Maresca when he was at Leicester. Do you know what I mean? Someone like that. The same way that Arsenal went for Arteta, right? They went for a manager who they could mould and to some extent control. And it's worked out. They've stuck with him for a long while, and it's took 6 years and £1 billion, but they've got some money. And maybe they got a title now, maybe even a Champions League, who knows. Chelsea, I think, will follow a similar pattern. Liverpool are following that pattern as well with Arne Slot. We've gone for a manager who maybe is somewhat unfashionable. And I think Chelsea will do the same. I expect they'll go for a manager who's happy to take a back seat on player recruitment and won't demand and won't throw his weight around. And there's not that many of them around. There's not that many. Not that have managed in the Prem before, anyway. Timbo, the Raya foul is the only one that matters when the ball is going towards his hands. No, I disagree. Because it's happening at the time before the ball even hits David Raya's hands. Timbo, I think top managers would still be willing to go to Chelsea because when we sack managers, no one blames the manager. They blame us being a basket case club, so the manager's reputation isn't harmed. Nah, I'm not sure. Graham Potter didn't quite get away scot-free, did he? Graham Potter only got away scot-free because its subsequent hires proved to be just as bad. But no, I'm not sure I agree with that. I think there's quite a lot of managers that would look at Chelsea and think, you're okay, you're all right. But yeah, Carrick at United is another one maybe following that pattern. They will absolutely put Michael Carrick in charge. Alonso at Liverpool, Fabregas at Chelsea and Arteta at Arsenal. Alonso's not going Liverpool. We don't want him. No, thank you. But yeah, there'll be some interesting choices. Very, very interesting choices for Chelsea this summer and who they're going to appoint. Some good young managers. Certainly some good young managers around Europe. Luke Watt says, I feel like Liam Rosenior might disagree. Well, it's funny. Liam Rosenior only got hired by Chelsea because he was about to be appointed by Spurs. Spurs were speaking to him before Igor Tudor. They were speaking to him. And Liam Rosenior was going to be Spurs manager. And that's why Chelsea fast-tracked him. James. How's it going, James? Hello, good sir. How's the Barca Real game? Haven't been able to see any of it. It's 2-0 to Barca. They've dominated Real. They've scored a couple of really, really good goals. Rashford with a free kick. Top corner. Fabulous goal. And then Ferran Torres with the second. And as it stands, Real Madrid are going to see Barca secure the title tonight in the Clásico for the first time in a very, very long time. Nearly 100 years, apparently, since that's happened. But yeah, lots and lots of very talented young managers across Europe who could maybe be interested in a step up at Chelsea. Even if Chelsea don't get Europe next year, they'd still be seen as a step up for a lot of sort of up-and-coming young managers. But I do think someone like Arbeloa, who's got a blossoming reputation, I tell you who might take it. Someone like Glasner. It'd be a recipe for disaster, but I think Glasner's a real one to watch for Chelsea. He might be more inclined to take that job. Rosenior will get another decent job. Easy. Timbo says Sarri went to Juve after us. Conte's done fine after us. Tuchel got the Bayern and England jobs. Maresca's being linked with City, etc., etc. Okay, but there is still a world, isn't there, where it doesn't quite work out, and a big part of that is maybe because you've not got creative control. Will Nuno get another job in the Prem if West Ham go down? I think he might stay with them. I don't know if Nuno will leave West Ham. He might stick around. He might fancy staying. Who knows? Maybe he will. Pete, if we sack Slot, the only one I want to replace him is Luis Enrique. He's not a Liverpool manager. We don't hire managers like that, mate. We've never hired managers like that. We don't go out and hire literally what most people would consider Luis Enrique the number one manager in Europe right now. We don't go and hire that guy. That's the most unfashionable Liverpool thing ever. We don't do that. We go and find the next Luis Enrique. And honestly, Arne Slot's probably the closest thing to it. If you think about style of play, if you think about innovation, you think about his ability to go and win league titles in multiple leagues. Yeah, I mean, Luis Enrique had a really bad spell at Roma when he was about Arne Slot's age. A really bad spell. Martin says, do you think Mourinho would take the Chelsea job, seeing his name linked with them and Real Madrid? Mourinho's not taking the Chelsea job. He's 1,000,000% taking the Real Madrid job. Timbo, he's been out of work for 2 years, so I wonder if Xavi Hernandez could be convinced. That's the type of appointment. Yes, been out of work for a while, like still got a little bit about him. Yes, he could be up for it. Ernesto Valverde's another one as well, who's obviously just left Bilbao, ex-Barca, been in the game a while. He might be up for it as well. Someone like that. Timbo, I think Fabregas is the next Enrique, which is why he'll tell us to F off. Dario, I don't think I've ever looked at a manager apart from Klopp and said that's a Liverpool manager. The thing is, when Klopp was at Dortmund, everyone wanted Klopp. That wasn't just a Liverpool manager. Everyone wanted him. Klopp was like hot property at that point. There's an argument to say that we sacked Brendan Rodgers to secure Klopp faster, because there was a clamour, and if we didn't get him, then someone else would have done. But at the end of the day, I don't want anyone else. I want Arne Slot to stay, personally. Great ball in. Courtois. Nearly 3-0. Real Madrid living dangerously. If they're not careful, like we already know that Real Madrid are going to lose tonight. I'd be surprised if they can turn it round, based off what we've seen. But it's starting to look like a real... Oh, nearly 3! It's starting to look like a really depressing night for them. And a night that this is... It's already historic. They don't want it to be something that, is talked about for years and years and years. Sarah, did you know also Luis Enrique came to watch Liverpool as a player? Apparently Garcia gave him a ticket and he loved it. Yeah, but he also couldn't remember the game. It can't have been that special because he couldn't remember the game, he said. But, yeah. Steve Dookie, on a serious one, mate, what is your issue with Arsenal? Spoke about it a lot, mate. I haven't got an issue with Arsenal. I think I haven't got an issue at all with Arsenal. I just don't want you to win the league because I don't think you play good footy. That's it. You're a very, very good side, but I think you play pretty dull and boring football, which I think even Arsenal fans acknowledge, right? So that's all it is. It's nothing bigger than that. Doesn't need to be any bigger than that. I just don't want you to win the league, and I don't want you to win the Champions League, and I think you might win both. And I called you to win the Champions League at the start of the season. So, yeah, if it happens, it happens. But, yeah, I'd rather you didn't. Steedo, I rooted for Liverpool every time they were up against City. Well, that's nice for you, and that's your prerogative. You can root for whoever you want, mate. You can root for whoever you want. But I want whoever it is who wins the league, wins the Champions League, I want them to be... I'm a bit of a purist. I quite like good football. I quite like seeing teams take chances in attack and, maybe having a shot from distance once in a while. Maybe, I just don't really see Arsenal. I don't even need to make that case, do I? We don't even need to argue that. I think everyone in football, even Arsenal fans, like we've talked about Ian Wright. Ian Wright is club legend. Even glass half full Ian Wright says Arsenal are a pretty depressing watch. And that said, you'll still win the league. And good luck to you. Congratulations. No one's going to be asked. No one's going to look back in years and say they were the most boring side to win the league. Who's bothered? So what? But from my point of view, if it's who I want to win the league, I want to see someone win it and win it well. Let's say that. I want to see them win it well. And I don't believe Arsenal do that. I think they're a very, very dull watch. But so what? Like I said, who cares? They'll win the league. Still just weird viewing, mate, especially being a football creator. You'd be more liked being unbiased. But that would suggest that I should be something I'm not, right? If I don't want Arsenal to win the league. Oh, here we go, Scrap City. I told you there'd be a fight in this one, and there is a fight. Now all the players are pouring in. The ref's already had his card out. He had a yellow out. It might be a red, this one. Someone hit the deck in the middle of that, and I think Tchouaméni might have gone for round 2. Oh, it's kicking off all right. Yeah, like I said, you're saying it like that. That's not my priority, mate. I come on and speak my mind, and this is what I think. I don't want Arsenal to win the league, because I don't think they should be rewarded for playing that way when they've got very, very talented footballers. Yeah. If my goal was to be more liked, then I would maybe take that approach. You're right. Maybe I would try and give opinions that would curry favour with certain fans. That's not me. And if you've watched me for even one live, you'll know that's not me. I'm not interested, mate. I'll say exactly what I think. If I'm one thing, I'm authentic. I don't rage bait. I don't rage bait at all. It might upset some people, but I don't rage bait. I say exactly how I feel. That's it. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it. It's fine. I don't like everyone's opinions either. It'd be weird if we all agreed. And it'd be boring. Steve, but do you want City to win the league, though? Well, I don't want them to win the league. I'd rather Liverpool win the league, obviously. I don't want them to win the league, but if it's a straight choice, like a straight flip of a coin, do you want City or Arsenal? Yeah, I want City to win it. Of course I want City to win it. Tony Snooker fan, I ain't available to watch this game. I haven't got Premier 1. How's Real Madrid players acting? Are they fighting each other? They're not quite fighting each other, but they're having a bit of a scrap with Barca players. Timbo says Simeone won't ever be sacked by Atletico. He's basically Wenger, but in Spain. What he's done with Atletico is ridiculous. Highest paid manager in football as well. There's another Madrid player down in the Barca area here. Steedo says, I thought he was a Spurs fan celebrating that West Ham goal. Who? I think with the squad PSG keep all their players, I feel like they could dominate Europe for a while. Yes, they absolutely could. Fantastic team. William says, the Ajax shirt, what year? Ajax shirt is, I think, 96? 95, 96? The year they won the Champions League. Well, hey, that's again, your prerogative, mate, but you know that's not the case. I'm a Liverpool fan. I would much rather see, and this is what I do, by the way. This is why I get a lot of stick, and people say, "Oh, why are you watching Arsenal? Why are you watching?" This is what I do. I watch a football game every single day, at least one. Tomorrow we're watching Spurs and Leeds. On Tuesday we're going to be watching Southampton and Middlesbrough. We're going to be watching Chesterfield and Notts County on Thursday. We're watching Bradford in the League One playoffs. Like, I love football. I absolutely love football. It's one thing you can't level at me. You might say, oh, I don't agree with what he's saying. He's wrong on this. He's wrong on that. That's fine. I can live with that. You're not gonna level at me that I don't watch football. I don't enjoy football. I don't love football, and I watch far more football. This community of wonderful football fans, we watch far more football together than any other watch-along channel. Comfortably. McBusby says, good game, Key. It's been a good game, yes. 2-0, 55 minutes on the clock. Barca, comfortable. But Real Madrid now starting to get a little bit... there's starting to be some yellows thrown out there. We've had 4 yellow cards already in this game. Camavinga in the first half. Olmo, Asensio and Bellingham have all been booked in the second half. And we're barely 10 minutes in. Timbo says, did you all know Key watched Gateshead once? I did. And the stream crashed. Mr. Al-Shmari says, in my opinion, German refereeing is top notch. They always let the game flow and very rarely make a bad decision. You should do a Bundesliga game watch along. We did a bit of Bundesliga last year. Prince Rupert says, wow, I had no idea Simeone was the highest paid manager in football. Fair play to Atletico for appreciating what he's done for the club. And Reggie, I've watched more football this season because there's not much else on TV. Well, hey, listen, if you love football, I think if you're a proper football fan, you're a football purist, I won't say proper football fan, but you know what I mean. Some people only watch their team, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm one of them football fans. I'm a true sort of football nerd, let's say. I love watching anyone. I'll watch Doncaster in a midweek game. If there's nobody else on, I'll sit there and watch Donk. So that's why that was the whole point of the channel. Daddy O, are you not doing the City game Wednesday? Yes, City Palace on Wednesday I am. McBusby, I've seen Rashford's goal on social media, but not seen anything else being out. Connor says, Key, you don't support Liverpool. I saw you do a watch-along to Rochdale before. It's laughable, isn't it? Why is he watching that? Putting realism aside, who would be Chelsea's best appointment apart from Pep? Because that's the obvious answer. Who would be Chelsea's best appointment? Honestly, Oliver Glasner. I said it earlier. I really, really do think Oliver Glasner would be a fantastic appointment for you. Whether he'd be willing to work within that framework, I don't know. But I think he's a sensational manager. James, I watch a lot of football. I'm the same. I'm not bothered who's on. Jerry says, Prem refs are too inconsistent. That's why Arsenal won. I mean, listen. We've all benefited. All clubs have benefited from dodgy decisions. But I do think that this season, Arsenal have certainly had the rub of the green, haven't they? I don't think there's any argument that they've not had the rub of the green. They've definitely had a bit of luck. And they had it again against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League in midweek. You know, time will tell whether that luck runs out at some point. Timbo says Glasner's a ticking time bomb waiting to happen if we get him. Oh, he'd kick off, wouldn't he? He would absolutely kick off. But I think if you had the right structure in place and you give him money to spend, which is all he's ever wanted, isn't it? Let's be honest. He whinged at Palace that he didn't have the money to spend. If he got the money to spend, I think he'd do a really good job at Chelsea. Martin Moorcroft, it's a poison chalice, the Chelsea job. That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah. Timbo in our other chat over here, he's a Chelsea fan. He was saying that plenty of Chelsea... He still feels that Chelsea's a big draw. It's a big club and it will, you know, top managers will still be interested in it. And while I don't disagree with that, he made the case that, you know, Enzo Maresca has come in and gone possibly on to better things. He's been linked with the City job. Tuchel went to Bayern, went to the England job. Conte's done fine, gone to Napoli, won a Scudetto. Like, it's not necessarily ruined their careers by going to Chelsea. And I mentioned Graham Potter and maybe now Liam Rosenior, another one. So, you never know. I do think there's some managers who might look at it and raise an eyebrow. Whether Oliver Glasner is one of those, I don't know. Timbo says, to make a sad day more depressing, our Chelsea women bottled a 2-0 lead against City to lose 3-2 in extra time. FA Cup, women's FA Cup final coming up soon as well. FM No Casuals evening, mate. I think I'm over the game now. What, the game, that game today, the Arsenal game, or are you talking about the game of football in general? Because I think a lot of us have kind of lost... We've fell out of love with it a bit today, haven't we, after what happened there? Darren says, surely it's only a matter of time before the Prem goes down the Netflix route. I mean, I'd love it. Yeah, that'd be great. Cost me a fortune if you could pay to watch every single game, mind. You can watch most games, to be honest, can't you? It's only really the odd one here and there that you can't get on some sort of a channel, even if it's like a Premier Sports or a Disney Plus or a, you know, DAZN is maybe another one. We've watched quite a bit on DAZN this season because they've had all the National League games. Nigel Krasker says, West Ham played so well today. I've watched the highlights against Arsenal. 20 years ago, that equaliser stands. Keeper flapped at the cross. That'll cost the Hammers over 100 million being relegated. Timbo Glasner moaned about the players being sold that he didn't want to be sold. Pochettino's main reason for leaving was because we ignored his wishes and sold Gallagher. It's a match made in hell. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you're probably right then. I think Company can make a Premier League move at some point. I think he's waiting for the City job, isn't he? McBusby Babes, it's good that you watch so much footy. I'm more Europe, though, after the Premier League as opposed to EFL, League One, etc. EFL, don't sleep on it, mate. EFL and the National League have been some great watches this season. That York City and Rochdale game goes down as one of the best ever games I've done on this channel. It wasn't a brilliant watch for about 85 minutes, but then it just came to life, and what an ending. Football and stuff, somehow I've watched 11 matches today. Sweet Lord. Good lad. Putting me to shame. Barca clear it behind. It's going to be a corner to Madrid. 30 to go. But yeah, it was disappointing. That it's uncalled for, I thought. Timbo says Fabregas would be my ideal choice, but he's a smart man and will stay at Como for now. Especially now Como have just qualified for Europe today, haven't they? For the first time in their history, Como have qualified for Europe. That's a big, big win. Martin, what's your favourite league to watch non-Premier League? Favourite non-Premier League league to watch? Do you know what? I quite like the Champions League. I quite like the French league when we've watched it. Ligue 1 is always a really, really good league. Serie A, I think, has got a lot better. It's tough, that. I don't know. They're all good in different ways. Some games we've watched, they've been dreadful. We watched PSG and Toulouse, it was 3-1. Is that going to count? Is that going to count? He's offside. I think Bellingham scored. Was it Bellingham? Bellingham scored. It's going to be offside. Yeah, I don't really have yeah, Championship's great watch as well. Love the Championship as well. Joe Key, do you have that heart chant stuck in your head? This is my story, this is my song. No. No, I didn't have it. I didn't have the audio one. James, it's why I'm looking forward to the World Cup. I think it's going to be a good one. Barca just making a couple of changes. Let me just go and grab me water. 1 second. Right, I'm back. Barca have made their changes. John Cena's taken over. I'm back. Like a typical Premier League daddy disappears. This World Cup won't be a good one at all. Can see it being a shit show. Why? Why do you think it's going to be a shit show? I'm really looking forward to the World Cup. I mean, I'm not looking forward to having to get up at daft o'clock, but Key's back on nights. Should be a good laugh. Liam says it's all Arsenal's fault. West Ham are going down. No, it's not all Arsenal's fault. Not at all. Definitely not. West Ham were going down irrespective of today's result. But, you know, I think the draw gives them hope, doesn't it? And it should have been a draw. I think on the balance of play, they've definitely got away with one. Doesn't feel like a World Cup's happening next month. It's weird. And it's not even... It's barely a month. It's the 11th of June it starts. Just got a feeling the Americans are going to make a mockery of it already. But the Mexicans and the Canadians are involved as well. It's, you know, it's across 3 countries, isn't it? Pete says, with that decision today, I hope it happens in the Champions League final for him. Oh, yeah, it would be poetic justice, wouldn't it, if it's 0-0 maybe, or whatever. Maybe Arsenal, maybe it's 2-1 PSG, and in the last minute, Arsenal score a goal off a set piece, no doubt. That wouldn't be a surprise. And it's there's just a slight touch on the keeper. Maybe there's a slight hand in the face or something. And it's the slightest of brushes of his face. Basically just caressing Safonov's lovely Russian hair. Just caressing the side of his face. And the referee goes, let's just have a little look at that. And he gets chalked off. Wonder if the Arsenal fans would be so happy at that point. I don't think they would. I think they'd have a whinge and they'd say, we was robbed. We was robbed, mate. We was absolutely robbed with that one. Can't believe it, brother. Blood. Darren, who's your midfield 3 for England? Bellingham, Rice, Anderson. Shell, I hope they don't keep calling it soccer. Of course they will. Timbo says, how many American owners do we have in the Prem? If Wrexham and Birmingham go up, would that put it at 14? Meaning the league will become American and the Super League / 39th game, etc. will happen. Possibly. Barca are in. Oh, Real Madrid just about get it away. Be prepared for a 2-hour cheesy match build-up during the World Cup. Sean says Anderson, Bellingham and Rice. Yeah, I think everyone's going Anderson, Bellingham and Rice. Break dancing on the ball. You must be joking. He was on the floor. He was on the floor. Key sounding like a prime Tracy Beaker. What? Tracy Beaker? Why? What's happened with Tracy Beaker? More Justine, me. Connor says, nah, Daddy-O, just don't want to hear the typical American, wow, what a goal, that's 1 point to England. Great score, right into the upper 90. And Rashford's cleat sends it right into the orbit of the upper 90. Big last 20. Can Real Madrid at least get a draw? Can they salvage some sort of pride in coming and not getting beat? It's hard enough to lose and have the title be collected. But still. Jimmy, how many Arsenal players do you think are going to the England team? Well, Rice is a certainty. After that, Saka. That's probably it, to be honest. Maybe Madueke. Yeah, Rice and Madueke. Rice, Saka and Madueke. Probably those 3. Don't think Ben White goes. Don't think Lewis Skelly goes. Don't think Eze goes. Yeah. Shahid, are you going to drink Budweiser while doing the Watchalong World Cup key? No, I've never drank it. Will never. Yeah, not really into lager. Not my thing. Tio, I think Eze's got a better chance than Madueke. I think Madueke's one of very, very few wingers we actually have. I know he's not brilliant, but he's a winger. He's a player that gets wide and stays wide. Eze's not that guy. Eze's number 10, and we've got a lot of number 10s, and I think Eze's probably 4th in the pecking order. Behind Bellingham, behind Cole Palmer, behind Morgan Rogers. Definitely Morgan Rogers and Bellingham. I just don't see a world in which he takes 4 number 10s. And Eze off the left doesn't work. He's a number 10. Not for the system that England use, anyway. Jimmy, I think my nan's got a better chance than Madueke. I have to disagree. Madrid haven't done anything at all here. It's been a poor performance from Madrid, really poor. Timbo says, why is Madueke in the conversation? I'd even have an out of form Palmer as right wing, Saka balance over Madueke. You've got to think about the types of wingers that England will need, and like based off form alone, people are more inclined to take wingers that cut in. Rashford will go, right? So Rashford's gonna go, Saka's gonna go, Palmer's gonna go. On the left, you've got Rashford. Maybe you've got Anthony Gordon. Maybe he goes. These are all wingers who cut inside and narrow the pitch up. They're going to make it harder for Bellingham and Kane. You need wingers who are going to get their boots white, who are going to get down to the touchline and put crosses in. That's none of those. It's none of those. Even if you take Jared Bowen, it's not that player. Madueke and Harvey Barnes are the only two that we really have that do that. Barca, excellent play. What a pass. Oh, great defending. Great defending. Jimmy, I mean, I love him. I've backed him ever since we signed him, but he's such an unreliable player. Yeah, I don't mind him. I'd quite like to see Harvey Barnes going. I think Harvey Barnes deserves it. Scored again today, didn't he, for Newcastle. Timbo, Gordon stays wide, or at least has done at different stages. Gordon's played more as a centre-forward this season. Joe, you need to check this geezer out on TikTok. I'll have a look. I'll have a look at him. Shaw and Maguire are going to go. Yeah, again, not ones that I would take personally, but I can understand why he probably will. Like, Shaw probably ends up going over someone like maybe Lewis Hall. Honestly, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. Like, Nico O'Reilly, for me, should be Harry Maguire at centre-back rather than, players like Jarrell Kwanzaa. Jarrell Kwanzaa, for me, should absolutely, 1,000,000% Jarrell Kwanzaa should be there. Daddy O kind of makes you think he should take Trent for crossing, even though Tuchel has said he doesn't fit his style and tactics he wants to play. It is an insult, that. That is an insult, and there's just there's no world in which Trent Alexander-Arnold is that much of a liability that you don't take him. He's not a liability. That's a real insult. Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I don't love him after the way he left Liverpool, but Trent Alexander-Arnold is England's best right back, and that's not even in question. You don't get the starting right back of Real Madrid not in the England squad. That's crazy. Won everything at Liverpool. He's comfortably our best right back. Shane, what about Calvert-Lewin for England? I'd take Calvert-Lewin, yeah, I would. I think he'd be our backup centre-forward. Timbo, Maguire as fourth centre-back and Henderson as sixth centre-mid makes complete sense, and anyone who cries over that should grow up, to be honest. Henderson, I like Henderson going as well. Again, these are important players in the camp as well as anything. Heafster says, why is Anthony Gordon being linked with Bayern? England don't produce strikers who can score 4 to 5. Strikers who can score plus 25 goals. England don't produce strikers who can score 4 to 5. Strikers who can score 25 goals. Well, we don't anymore. We did, didn't we? We did have that, but that's because we've stopped playing strikers in the Premier League as much. There's only now one centre-forward position. There used to be 2. As a result, we're now picking more foreign centre-forwards. There's less English centre-forwards in the game. So we used to have Shearer and Les Ferdinand and Robbie Fowler and Andy Cole and Kevin Phillips and Matt Letizia, and you could go on and on and on. There was loads of them. And Michael Owen. There were absolutely loads of English centre-forwards, all of whom scored 25 plus goals. But yeah, we don't have them anymore because there's now only one position instead of 2, and we imported a lot of better, arguably better foreign centre-forwards. Yeah, there is only Kane, but now you've got Kane, you now need a different type of centre-forward, don't you? That's why I would take Calvert-Lewin, personally. Someone who... And that's why I would also take Madueke. Because if you've got Madueke and you've got Calvert-Lewin, at the very least, if England need a goal, you can knock one into the box, and Calvert-Lewin will win 90 times out of 100, will win the ball in the air. Emile Heskey, of course. Timbo, I kind of get it with Trent. If you're not going to ask Trent to play the way he plays at club level, then why put a square peg in a round hole? That's exactly what we did wrong in the 2000s. I know, but he will take Reece James, won't he? And I know you've got feelings on Reece James because you're a Chelsea fan. But if you're going to take Reece James, you take Trent. Reece James has nothing that Trent doesn't. You're not going to argue that one with me. Trent is at the very least as defensively competent as Reece James, and at the very least as good, if not far better, in my opinion. But there's just no way you don't take Trent. If you're looking for Reece James, you take Trent. Real Madrid, corner, cleared away by Barca. Maddow says you're off topic a lot, Key. Is the game shite right now? It's not shite, but Real Madrid are... it looks like they're maybe petering out a little bit. They're losing a little bit of energy, and I do wonder whether or not we'll start to see maybe more yellow cards as the game goes on. And as it enters its final stages, Barca might start to mock. They might start to, ole. They might start to pass around Madrid. We're getting into that phase of the game where Real Madrid know they only need one. And if they pinch one, then they might be able... It's still going forward here. Vinicius loses it. Dreadful. Oh, no, he's won it back. That's excellent play. Why has he stopped it? That was brilliant play by Vinicius. You're the only person in the world who thinks Trent is as defensively competent as Reece James. All right. I'd say Reece James is maybe a 7 out of 10 then. Or even maybe a 7.5 out of 10 defensively. Trent is maybe a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. But going forward, he's a 10 out of 10. What's happened with Anthony Gordon? I hope Gordon goes. Good riddance and fair play for Eddie Howe for dropping him recently. No play's bigger than the club, and it shows we've learned from the Isak situation last season. And he stated in an interview he's bigger in Newcastle, so already dropped him since. He's bigger than Newcastle. Anthony Gordon has said I'm bigger than Newcastle. I don't agree with that. I don't believe that. Don't believe that. Theo says, hi Key, hello everyone, I just joined in, how's the game been? It's been very good, mate, very good. Pete says, take Calvert-Lewin's hair. Take Calvert-Lewin, his hair might get a stupid player sent off. Should be encouraging all players to grow their hair out. Genuinely, he's actually said that. Anthony Gordon has said that. Anthony Gordon, bigger than Newcastle. I do wonder. Why can't I find this? He's not said that he's bigger than Newcastle. Anthony Gordon interview then. Let's look for Anthony Gordon interview. Timbo, James is defensively an 8 and Trent is a 6.5. Honestly, I'm being kind compared to a lot of other football fans. Would you take Gordon at Liverpool, Key? No. No. I wouldn't take Gordon at Liverpool. Oh, wait, there's more yellow cards out. Rafinha's been booked. Alexander-Arnold, Rafinha, Bellingham, Olmo, Asensio, Camavinga, all booked. Yeah, no, I wouldn't take Anthony Gordon at Liverpool. I've no problem taking him because he was an Everton player, sir. I'd be quite happy to take, and I'd take James Garner. James Garner would be a fantastic player. What did you make of the booing yesterday? Very disappointing. But not entirely surprising from a fan base that is becoming rapidly entitled. Nightshell, take it easy. Barca pushing down the right-hand side. Chance for a third. Hit it. Oh, good save from Courtois. Another Ten Hag masterclass letting Gardner go for 15 million. Timbo says I was in the cop. They couldn't stand Slot. We're slagging him off all game. I think booing is something Liverpool fans generally don't do. And when I have seen it, I think a lot of other Liverpool fans have called it out. We've booed a lot of substitutions over the years. Maybe not a lot. A lot's probably excessive, but we've definitely booed substitutions over the years. That one was just stupid. Fans booed Rio Ingamoa coming off, thinking that he'd took him off tactically, when actually it was because the player was injured. It's the ticky-tocky generation. No patience. That's it. No patience. Football fans getting gradually less and less tolerable as well, I guess. Barcelona closing in on this La Liga title. Ball over the top. Wonderful ball over the top. Excellent chance if Barca can get this out. Huge chance. Got to finish it. Oh, huge moment. Lewandowski nearly making it 3. It's Sam says, congratulations to Arsenal for winning the VAR trophy. Carl says, should Liverpool get dragged into the too many situation, would he be a good fit? No. Would he be a good fit? Yeah, he probably would, but I don't... Personally, I don't think it's the right move for Liverpool. Timbo, I would take James and Trent, by the way. He should 100% be in the squad. Yeah, get him in the squad, and like you could put one in midfield. I think both can and have played in midfield. Certainly James, anyway. Howe said in an interview he'll only start players that are 100% committed to the club. The next day Gordon's not in the squad. Yeah, but he's still not... I still don't see anywhere where he said that he's bigger than... That could also be coincidence, right? Correlation, not causation. Let's remember that old classic. Sarah, I don't know, Timbo. It's up to Tuchel, not us. Well, no, of course it's up to Tuchel to see who he takes, but I would want to see Trent at the World Cup. I think he's a massive... If you need a player to unlock a defence, if England are up against a low block, you've got a free kick. A Trent Alexander-Arnold on the pitch, on the bench, whatever, even if you're not going to start him, Trent Alexander-Arnold coming on can open a defence. Real Madrid in the area, skied it, terrible. Timbo, weirdly, James is better in midfield than Trent, which you wouldn't think, given Trent's ability. I agree. Reece James is an option, I think, for midfield. I think we should try and get Trent back in the summer. Do you wonder how much we'd have to pay to get him back, though? Like, if you remember, what was the market rate for Trent Alexander-Arnold before, if you didn't consider his contract? Let's say Trent Alexander-Arnold had 2-3 years left on his contract and Madrid bid for him. How much would it have taken to get him out of Liverpool? 80? 100? A lot of money for probably the best right-back in the world at the time. I don't think anyone would have said otherwise. Trent clears it up the pitch. Actually, a very good ball from Trent. Should be a foul to Real Madrid, that, but he's not going to get it. Oh no, he has give the free kick. So yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult really to see Liverpool going back in for him unless the price is somewhat attractive. And what do you think an attractive price looks like to Real Madrid? I know they paid 10 million quid for him, but I don't think they'd sell him for less than 50. Heafster says 50+1 ownership by fans and English players' development would be prioritised. I agree with that. Yep, 100%. Shahid, there are a lot of Liverpool fans who want Slot gone. Yes, we know that. We know that. 50 plus 30 English tax. 88 minutes on the clock. Firmin's just gone off. Balde back on. Carl O'Neill says Trent is definitely our second best right back, and I would think he would give everything for England. He's got a point to prove, hasn't he? If he had 3 years, it's probably 70 to 80 would make him the most expensive fullback ever, I think. And Key, I know you're angry about Arsenal, but no need to smash your studio up. I'm really trying. But yeah, this is it. I think 50 to 80 million is what we've been saying there. I'm not sure Liverpool get him back for that. I think there's a world maybe where we pay a little bit for him, but not 80 million quid. Any updates on the Feddy situation? Just that he's apparently at home resting with a traumatic brain injury. Barcelona will win it tonight, mate. They are 90 seconds away from winning it. And winning it against Real Madrid in the Clásico as well. Daddy-O, Trent's next move will be Chelsea or City. City, it screams City, doesn't it? I said that the day he left. The day he left, I said he'll be back in the Premier League in 18 months and it'll be Manchester City. Couldn't agree more. Brendan, I'm not convinced by Frimpong, if I'm being honest. I get players need time to settle in and he's had injuries, but I'm really not sure on him. I think he's only going to be a right wing backup. He's not a right back. Carl, you can't play Dutch football in the Premier League. It's a risky move giving Slot one more season. I mean, what's Dutch football? What's Dutch football? A Barca playing Dutch football? Given Johan Cruyff and the influence he had over the club? Rinus Michels, any of that stuff? Does that matter? I don't know what we would consider Dutch football. The current Premier League champion is a Dutch manager. I won't get too carried away with some wonderful Dutch managers over the years. Louis van Gaal, fantastic Dutch manager. He had another massive impact on Barcelona's playing style as well. So yeah, I don't think it's risky at all giving Slot one more year, because I think if you actually argue from a point of what are Liverpool's expectations, right, in terms of this Liverpool squad, they were no better than fourth. We've not got anything better than the fourth best squad in the league. Maybe third if you're optimistic. We never had the tools to compete with City or Arsenal this season. Never. So I don't believe for 1 second any manager would have got better. He's not even given any injury time. He's blown up. Barca have won the league against Real Madrid. There you go. But look at the scenes. Barcelona win the Clásico. Barcelona win La Liga. And do you know what? The Real Madrid players look to have been somewhat gracious. Mr. Al-Shamari, have you ever watched any Saudi League games? We did watch a Saudi game on Christmas Day. We watched Al-Ettifaq, it was. Al-Ettifaq against Al-Dammam, I think it was, in the Saudi Pro League on Christmas Day. Because that was the only game that was on Christmas Day. Yeah, Barcelona crowned La Liga champions for the 29th time. 29 times. Real Madrid Mastantuono's gone over applauding the travelling Madrid fans. But the limbs in the Barca home end there, and Courtois has gone over. He's apologising. He's giving that to the Real Madrid fans. He's apologising. Not a great season for Madrid. But Mourinho will be back. There's fucking fireworks going on over the top of the new camp there. Heafster says Goldbridge does Bundesliga. I know, but he's got a contract with him, hasn't he? He's got rights. I mean, that's a massive step for him. Well done to him. Maybe I can buy the Danish league or the Saudi Pro League rights. Who knows? That was a fairly decent stream, Key. Have a good one. From a fairly decent stream to a fairly decent comment from a fairly decent guy. Thanks, Timbo. Right, I'm off, people. Have a lovely, lovely evening, whatever you're doing with it. We've had a couple of interesting games today. Not the best, but we had West Ham getting robbed earlier, and now Barcelona stealing the title away from Real Madrid. And it's been a really, really good day of football. Anyway, really enjoyed watching footy with you, as always. If you've not already, do us a favour, leave a like on the video, hit subscribe if you've not already, and I will see you all tomorrow for Spurs against Leeds. And now Spurs could go, 4 points? 4 points clear of West Ham with 2 games left to go. Be difficult to see them throwing away the relegation, going down, if they were to win tomorrow night against Leeds. I think that would be a really, really difficult one for West Ham to turn around. Have a lovely night. Take it easy. Enjoy your Sunday. I'll catch you tomorrow for Monday Night Football. Same time, 7:30. See you soon.